Okay, we are live once again for our daily short live training on how to get some qualified sales appointments. And I am excited about today's topic. It's a real important one. And you might even have an action item or two following today's training. So get something to write with, get something to write on. And we are almost at the bottom of the hour. We like to start these at the bottom of the hour because it's a little different. So we are just getting the rest of our tech set up. It is now officially the bottom of the hour. So welcome live listeners. Welcome to you if you're watching our replay. Love to hear who's out there. Leave a comment below this video, wherever it is that you're watching it. We'll see it show up here. Before we get started, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Ronen Rahman. Are you out there? I hope. Usually you are. There you are.
There, yeah. You know what? Sometimes the mouse doesn't click like I want it to. Hey, good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am doing just spectacular this morning.
Yes, you are. And busy morning. So let's get to it. Two things. One, this is live. So we're taking questions. So post them in the comments, anything you want to know about what we're talking about as we get into it. And what is the message for today?
Well, the message for today is messaging magic. So that's the message for today. That's the title. And what we're going to be diving into is what to say and how to say it to the people that you're meeting online. So if you've been following our training so far this week, we've talked about having a perfect message to market match. We did that training on Monday. If you missed it, go back and watch. Yesterday, we talked about how to set up your social media profiles. And I showed you my LinkedIn profile and the rationales for what I did there. Now it's time to go message some folks. And my advice to begin with is to start messaging people that you might already be connected with. How's that for a novel idea? Awesome. And so we're going to talk about that. All right, we're into it. So there's a couple of rules that we follow in doing this. And it is designed not just to get someone's attention, it's also designed to make someone feel good, make someone feel valued, and develop a relationship with the individuals that you're messaging. So often we are on the receiving end of something that's not so inviting, right? You connect with somebody and then they start just regurgitating a sales pitch on you for no apparent reason other than they just think that's going to help them get a sale. And that's not very inviting. It's actually kind of annoying. And so don't be that person, right? And so we get a lot of questions. If I'm not going to do that, if I'm not going to sell or pitch, what am I going to say? And so we're going to dive into some ideas that are going to get you thinking about the kinds of things that you could put in your messaging, especially when you're meeting new people, but even if you want to reach out to existing connections. So Ronen, would you share my screen? I am going to show, whoops, that's not the one I wanted to show. This is it. Okay. So these are you can write these down. Take a screenshot of this if you're watching it on a device where you can. But this is what we do. This is what we do in our business. This is what we teach. This is what we do for clients when we think about the kinds of messages. Number one is to make it all about them, the other person, right? Not about you. And the reason for that is pretty obvious. If you make it all about them, they'll listen more likely. They might respond, and it'll make them feel good. And keep thinking about you're building a relationship here. You're wanting the other person that's receiving your message to like you. And when you make it all about them, they tend to like you more. I mean, to be quite candid. So some ideas for how you can do that. Number one, you can go online and look for an article that might be of interest to the other person. You can send a link to that article with a message like, hey, Bob, I found this article in the Wall Street Journal. I thought of you. I thought it might be of interest. Let me know what you think. Bam. And you send it to Bob, right? And it has to be something about them or something that they might be interested in, right? So if you are struggling for ideas, just simply type in like the type of business that they're in. Let's say Bob is an attorney. You could type in something like, how do attorneys hire the best paralegals or something like that? Whatever. Just think creatively about what they might be interested in. Find those articles and send them. I kid you not, it works. In fact, I'll show you maybe some examples. I wasn't planning on this, but now that I'm thinking that we have some real examples, I may end up showing here on some of these slides. Here, I'll just do it right now. Here's an example right here where Ronan connected with this person named John. John happens to work for a company called Allegiance Consulting. And then Ronan, who's my co-host here, did it just what I was explaining. He found this article in Forbes about something that might be of interest to John regarding managed IT, which is not Ronan's business, it's John's business. Sends the article to John, and then you can see here's another article that Ronan sent maybe a week later, similar idea, a different article on a different topic related to something that John might be interested in. And then here's John's response after a couple of weeks of Ronan doing this. John sends Ronan a message. Thanks for sharing these articles. He's actually thanking Ronan for sending messages. How cool is that? And then asking if Ronan wants to have a call to get to know each other better, providing his email and his phone and his link to his calendar so that Ronan can have a conversation. It just so happens Ronan helps people like John set up appointments. And so there you go. So that's an example of how this process can work. So if there are any questions or anything like that, feel free to type them in. If you have comments about this, type them in. We'll see if we can help you out. So that's making it all about them, and it's not salesy, right? Ronan wasn't pitching his service in those messages. He wasn't talking about appointment setting. He was talking about things that John might be interested in. And this idea, this sharing third-party relevant content. So these are some specific things you can do. So one of the action items that you might consider doing today is thinking about the types of people that you're connected with, what they might be interested in, going out and sourcing some articles and sending messages just like that to them. Another thing you can do is something a bit different. I'll show you an example of a message that we're using right now with success. This is actually one that we wrote for one of our clients to reach out to their existing connections. It's not uber specific to the individual, but it's very specific to being caring and thoughtful about the other person. I'll read it to you just in case you can't read it on the device you're on because it's small. It says first, and hello, first name. Obviously, you wouldn't say first name, right? You would say their name. First and foremost, I hope you and your family are holding up well during these uncertain and challenging times. Although we are all in the same storm together, many of us are riding through it in different boats and achieving different results. For many businesses, this is a great time to be working on your business instead of the usual in your business. If you'd like to chat, let's have a quick conversation together to see what that might look like. All my best, Don. So again, it's just a friendly, non-salesy, how you doing kind of a message. And it's refreshing when people receive this because it's not spammy, it's not salesy, it's not pitchy. And it puts you in a good position to have a conversation. So maybe they respond, maybe they don't. But we've had pretty good success with this. A couple of bonus items that I'll talk about. Before I get into these bonus items, I wanted to point out that we are running a totally free deep dive workshop called Guaranteed Sale Appointments this Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, where we're going to really go deep on not only this messaging topic that we're talking about today and show some real examples and really help you craft messages and other things, but all the different steps of our process that we use in our own business to generate well-qualified business sales appointments through using LinkedIn and some other mechanisms. So if you're interested in learning more about these kinds of things and getting some one-on-one assistance with it, please join us. You can sign up at our website, Real Appointments VIP, realappointmentsvip.com, and we'll send you the information on how to participate in this Friday's deeper dive class. So one of the other things that we will show you how we do it is sending video messages. You can send a video message through pretty much virtually any kind of electronic means: email, Facebook messages, LinkedIn messages. It's not that difficult to do. We're going to show you how to do that on Friday's class. So if you're comfortable enough on camera and you want to send a video message, I do this all the time. I personalize it. I mention their name personally in the video message. Sometimes I even hold up a little sign or a card that has their name on it. So when they look at the little thumbnail, they see their name on the card in my video, so they know automatically it's a personalized video message. And I've had really good success with that, and that's something to consider. And then a third thing you can do is send them something in the mail. Send them a letter. Send them a card. It's it's unusual, okay, to not get something like a bill and not get something like junk mail. It's very unusual, and it virtually always gets read when you send something like that. You could also use that same strategy of sending third-party relevant content in the mail by clipping something out of a magazine or clipping something out of a newspaper. For those of millennials that are listening, that's that stuff it's made from trees. Sometimes it gets tossed onto your driveway, in case you didn't know what that was. But you can literally cut those some articles out and send it to somebody in the mail. If you don't know their address, look it up online. I'm finding, people that even aren't in the office are still making at least a weekly trip to go get their mail from the office. So we're having really good success doing that. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, was some ideas here on what you could message. Ronan, you can bring me back on screen here. Where do I go? There we go. So that is, some quick ideas for you. So in terms of some things you can do literally today, if you have a Facebook account or you have a LinkedIn account, more specifically and probably a better use, go to your LinkedIn account, find some people that you're already connected with, and send them a note, right? Using some of the ideas and examples that I just taught you here. And you might be surprised. You might actually end up in a conversation with someone that you might end up doing some business together. So really do that. And don't just do it once, do it 5 times today with 5 different people or 10 different people. It only takes a few minutes. And that'll get you started on seeing kind of some activity, some results from what you just learned here today.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing. I think the context of the messages is that, you're meeting someone maybe you haven't talked to in a long time, or maybe you're meeting them newly because you just connected with them. You wouldn't, if you were networking live, you wouldn't just walk up to somebody and throw your business card in their face, tell them what you do, and then ask for an appointment, right? You just wouldn't do that. It's weird and not effective. You would make some conversation, get to know them a little bit, understand who they are. Maybe they're not even a fit for you, right? And why would you want to waste your time with that? So, there's a certain amount of qualifying that you do for people. There's a certain amount of getting related to people, because people want to work with people that they like. And so you're becoming likable in a medium, in a platform that has a hard time communicating your tone and all those things. They don't really get to know you like they do in a live event. So how do you recreate that? You provide value. You just give them something that shows that you know who they are and they are enriched by what you sent them. And now you're already on a different level with them and already connected to them in a way that when you get on the phone with them, it's like, oh yeah, we've been talking all this time. It's great to finally hear your voice.
Exactly.
Does that make sense, Brian? Did I just ramble on?
Completely. Yeah, absolutely. And look, I understand it can be somewhat uncomfortable at times. Like, what am I going to say? Why would this person want to hear from me? And you get in your head about it, right? So when you send something that has value to that other individual, it helps you not get in your head about it, right? Because you're actually sending something that might actually be useful and for this other individual, and it takes some of the pressure off, and it does it, like what Ronan was just saying. It allows for when you end up having an actual conversation with them, you're the nice guy, you're the hero, you're the person that's been really friendly and open, and the conversation will likely go a lot better if you follow some of these simple things to do. This is, I say this all the time. This is not rocket science. This is not some weird, forensic. You don't need a degree, in anything. You don't need to study this. You just follow some of these tips, and you will, and let us know how it goes. We love to hear if you end up doing some of these activities that we're suggesting. We want to hear some feedback. So that's it. So if you're just joining us, I see a few people that just popped in. Rewind the recording, and there's some specific examples on what kinds of messages you might want to be sending out, even just to your existing contacts.
So I think the power action today is to work to create a message, and then register for our training event on Friday, so that you can comment and maybe even share that with everybody, so that we can dissect it. It's a deep dive into all of this. It's a training, so we'd love to have you there.
We would. And you can just sign up. It's completely free at realappointmentsvip.com. It's 11:30 a.m. Pacific time this Friday. And when you sign up, we'll be sending you our workbook that you'll go through, and you'll basically get our 7-day action plan for generating your next well-qualified appointment, which is kind of fun. So and useful right now. So that's all I got for today, Ronan. Thanks for hosting.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Sounds great.
All right. Take care.